Hi everyone, I'm Juliane Nowe, and you're listening to the LadyNowe Show, where I feature conscious conversations about health, life, love, cannabis, yoga, spirituality, women's empowerment, and so much more. I believe a holistic life starts from the inside and is reflected like a movie projector out into your outside world. This is also a space where it's like having your best friend answer all your questions while sharing her best insights all in one. I'm so happy to have you here. And if you want more free content, mentoring options, or just to reach out and say hi, head to my website at LadyNowe.com.
Welcome to the Abundant Health Coach, where I help you stay calm in the chaos, where I help you go from burnout to success using the exact 4-step process I used to quit my day job. Ready? Let's do this. On today's episode, I'm interviewing Juliane Nowe. Juliane is one of my all-time favorite people. Juliane asked me to come to Fredericton from Halifax. That's a 5-hour drive. And I dropped everything and ran. I got in my car. I canceled all my appointments because when you meet people, when you have relationships that are full of love and full of support and full of abundance, you stick around those people. So all lights were green when she asked me to come to her event in Fredericton. Whenever Juliane and I get together, I feel good. My vibe is higher. So that's my whole mission on this planet, is to feel good and help other people do the same. So listen up if you want to raise your vibe, feel good, hang out with Juliane and I as we chat about her abundant health coaching business. She is a cannabis education amazing guru as well as a yoga teacher, and she shares with us her journey from being a preschool teacher to living her own life now, being her own abundant boss. Listen up. Are you ready to effortlessly attract your ideal client? Join us for November's Mastermind. We run the Tuesdays in November online, so you can join from anywhere in the world. All the details are in the show notes. You can grab a 15% off code. We have 5 seats open. Join us for November 2018 to grow your business and effortlessly attract your ideal client.
Hello.
Hello.
This app is awesome.
And it's free.
I'm like speechless.
Juliane, it pumps it out to like 9 different platforms.
I'm just so amazed.
I know. Every day I'm like, when are they going to ask me for my money?
Yeah, like I'm so amazed. Like I use Uber Conference and that's free too. But then I have to like take the recording, edit it, then upload it into a thing, then blah, 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 then share it. It's like, this is so cool.
Girl, I have these live like 5 minutes after we record them.
Oh my God.
Yeah, I know. Every day I'm like, when are they going to ask for my money? What's the catch? But I don't know if there is one. One of my friends uses it and she's done like hundreds of episodes. So I'm at about 20 and I'm like, well, maybe at 50 episodes it's going to ask me to pay, which I'll be glad to pay because they're amazing.
And it's so easy.
I know. And the audio is actually fantastic. So one of the things that is a barrier for people, as you know, you have your own podcast, is do I have the right mic? Do I have the studio space? Do I have this, that, and the other thing? Which for me, it was like 8 months. I wasn't starting because I didn't have the perfect spot. And then I realized I was like, oh, my business vision and values is to run my business, not from my computer, but from my phone. So that allows us to do that.
Cool.
Yes. And the audio turns out great. I'm impressed in all that I'm doing. I'm just talking into my phone. I'm not even using a headset.
So what about editing?
Well, that's the thing, is you can trim it right on the app. So if there's the beginning you want to trim or the end, but I'm all about working smart, and I wouldn't do a podcast if I had to edit it. I did my first 5 a different way and kind of edited out a few things that I said. And it wasn't flowy or again with my business values. So I don't edit them, and they turn out great. I just do quick interviews, 25, 30 minutes, and then add in an intro that I record after I talk to the amazing health coach. And then I add in the intro and outro that I've already pre-recorded. So yeah, I'm finding it super easy and flowy. And that's something that for me, I know I wouldn't keep doing it if it was a pain in the butt. So I had to make it so easy that I was able to do it turnkey, super simple. So thank you for joining. I'm so excited to have you.
Thank you.
And you were the first person to ever have me on their podcast. So you and I were all about first.
Yeah.
And like relationships are so important to me. And as I'm going through this next stage of growth in my own life and business, that for me is such a priority. And when I make business decisions and life decisions now, I ask myself, am I supported? Am I loved? And every time you and I get together, you invited me to Fredericton last minute, I jumped in my car because in business and life, again, am I supported? Am I loved? And you, my friend, are those two things. There's nothing more that I could ask for from our relationship. So thank you for everything you've done. You've been such a support to me. And you and I, we met during our yoga teacher training and have been at each other's hips ever since. And even from afar, we're so connected. So thank you.
You're welcome, and thank you. Oh my goodness, I feel the same way. Like just thinking when we connected in the yoga training and the laughs we had over some of the things that weren't as laughable at the time. Like me being like, oh my God, how do I like send an email and a newsletter in my business? And you're like, I'll help you.
Yeah, and that's what life is about is we're pack animals, we're humans. We should be supporting each other. And what I'm good at is my zone of genius. What you're good at is your zone of genius. And we don't all have to be good at everything. And, you know, as high achievers, as perfectionists, sometimes that's really hard is to be vulnerable, to be humble, to let other people support us and ask for that support. So we have to feel like we can. So you were one of the main people I went to during my last big, huge life transformation of the separation after 5 years of a relationship. And we're pack animals. So for anyone listening, as a business owner, you don't have to do it all yourself. And I tried that for years and it works, but it burns you out and it drains you. And when we work together and ask for support, life can be much more flowy. So Juliane is just love. That's how
Thank you.
that's how I describe you. And for those listening, I'm going to ask Juliane some questions, and she's going to share with us her side of the story, what it feels like to be an abundant health coach. And maybe I will ask you, have you always felt like an abundant health coach, or did you once feel like you were struggling in your own health business?
Oh my gosh. Yeah, totally. I felt like I was struggling. Even different times now, I'll feel like I'm struggling, but it's more when I'm like doubting myself or when it's like a transition period of like, okay, I'm going to put this into practice. I'm feeling really good about it. And then I expect the next day it's going to be exactly how I thought it was going to be when I need to have the patience and also love the process. So then I'll start feeling like I'm struggling and be hard on myself or pushing myself too much. And that's always something that I'm like overcoming is I can so easily teach someone else the ways to like turn inwards and to trust and to know. But then I can easily get caught up just like any other human being with the outcome or how something looks rather than just keep trusting the feeling. So I think that trusting the feeling and living how you want to live, for me, it's freedom. I need to have freedom in my time, in my space, location, etc., and being my own boss as well. So that to me is what makes me feel abundant. And times when those needs weren't being met is when I haven't felt abundant.
Yeah. And often you and I talk about manifestation and desires, and often we get caught up in the fact that we want it, but we don't have that belief. So it's so nice to have coaches or friends like you and I support each other to hold the belief for each other when maybe we don't believe it ourselves, because manifestation cannot happen without that unshakable belief. So having those friends and those coworkers and there's those masterminds and those coaches and those relationships is so important. And I know for myself, I'm not on birth control, so I live the cycles of the woman. So every month I want to quit my business about day 25 of my cycle. So do you experience that at all, of cycle, like with your hormones or with living the life of a female? Do you experience that on a consistent basis throughout the month?
Yes, like I literally just got my period today, and I was laughing because my partner, he got us Fitbits. So when you enter your information, it asks if you're male or female. So we're entering our stuff in, and mine has an option as a female about your cycle. So I was putting it in, and it said that I still had about like 6 days or something till my next one. And I'm like, no, I feel like it's coming like right now. Like, I feel like I'm going to get my period like right now or tomorrow. And the reason I say that is because it's that feeling of like overwhelm, and I get like irrational. That's the word. I
Yeah.
get irrational. Like I'm not doing enough, or I'm doing too much, or I'm just gonna quit this, or like you said that to me, and now I'm really gonna feel bad about that and think about it and think if I should talk to you about it or not, and like just irrational for like the couple days leading up to my period. And then I'm like, I get my period the first day, which is today. Like I'm just feeling slow. Like I did 2 appointments this morning, and now I'm at home doing a couple of my own podcasts, doing one with you, like just taking it slow, staying at home. And it'll probably be like that tomorrow, and then I'll slowly start to come out of it. So definitely business and life correspond with a female cycle.
Yes. And as the business owner, how ridiculous would it be if we followed those irrational thoughts every month and, quit our business or did these crazy things? So the moment we can realize that correlation and understand what's going on, we simply, just like you're doing now, is laugh at it. We literally have to laugh at it, hold on for dear life, rest, and it will pass. And the beauty is the other 3 weeks of the month, for me anyways, is like I'm just on fire. So I can get all of my work done in the 3 weeks, knowing that I'm going to fully rest during that other week, and it's going to charge
Mm-hmm.
me up to go full tilt. So amazing. I apologize. I'm not asking you the questions I told you I was
Oh,
going.
that's okay.
Oh, with you, I just feel like you have done this so many times, and I know that you are so comfortable talking. But I'll get back on track now. So, if you could say one thing to yourself back when maybe you didn't feel abundant with your health business, maybe you were questioning it, is this the right path for me? Maybe you were still working as a waitress, that sort of thing. Let us know what you would say to yourself, because a lot of our listeners are in that position. They're working a full-time job, or they're piecing together jobs, and their health business really is just a side hustle and a nice to have a dream. So share with us some words of wisdom you would say to yourself or the listeners that might be a little bit scared, or they're just burnt out with their health business.
Yeah, I'd say like really just start. Like really start thinking of it as a business. And it's okay at first to think of it as your side hobby, because maybe you're not quite ready to teach someone else or help someone else, or like be that committed. Because once you put it out there, there is that bit of commitment, and maybe you have a higher expectation than what other people have on you at that time. But I definitely think just start. And when you do start thinking of it as a business. And that's what I found changed for me was when I was a preschool teacher and living in Halifax. And like, I loved being a preschool teacher, but I was like, well, this doesn't feel like that's what I want to do forever. And then I found yoga and found holistic healing, and I was like lit up, living it, talking about it, being it. But for the first like year or two, I was doing the work on myself, getting the experience of what worked for me and what it felt like, and then getting the trainings so that I'd have, proper wording or structure of how I would teach something. And even now, like I'm cannabis coaching, health, life coaching, combining all that together, but I'm still doing a cannabis coach online, then mentoring students, even though I'm already doing it. So it's kind of like just start, but also start thinking of it as something else, but be open to being the student as well, because you're always the student and the teacher. So just start and just trust.
I love it. And trusting is the hardest part, letting go, releasing.
Mm-hmm.
Um, yes, and it is very humbling when you realize if you have been health coaching or you've been the authority or authoritative figure for years, it is humbling to step back into that seat of we actually can learn something from everybody on this planet, and we are all students and we are all teachers. So share with us who you are and who you help, besides the fact that you are love. That's exactly who you are to me. But so listeners know, just a short little glimpse of exactly who you can help. So if anyone's listening, they can come on over to your channels and seek your service.
So my business itself is called LadyNowe, which my partner actually came up with the name, as my last name is Now. And I have a separate business called Yoga Now. And I was using it as like my yoga teaching business, also about like meditation, just teaching about living in the now, and then teaching in the school system, kids yoga, etc. And then when I started transitioning more into cannabis education, but also like what it's been like to heal my own health issues with other professionals, and what it's like to transition from taking pharmaceuticals to not taking any more at all. Like just sharing that story was kind of like, I think I need a separate outlet because I can't have children coming to my page while I'm talking about cannabis. So he was like, well, why don't you call it Lady Now? Like you're a woman, you teach a lot of women, like women are drawn to you. It's really like a female focused thing. Like, yes, of course, men come to my classes and stuff too, but it was kind of more female focused. And I was like, you know what? I really like that. It sounds professional, but also feminine at the same time. So, Lady Now is coaching, yoga, and lifestyle. And so I do one-on-one coaching. Sometimes it's just for medical patients who got a prescription, but they have no idea what to do next. Like they don't know what licensed producer to go with. They don't know what strain to try. They don't know if they should take capsules or oil or both, or smoke it or vape it or cook with it, or what to do. They don't know like how to educate others about it because there's a lot of stigma. They don't know how much they can travel with. They don't know just all those little questions because that just isn't out there because there's such a transition still from the stigma. I also do coaching with my favorite is combining like the best of all the worlds together. So, like what strain to use and why, also looking at the person as an individual, like what do you eat regularly, like what have you tried before, what doesn't work for you, and looking at their lifestyle as a whole, like do you have kids, do you need to go to work every day, like all these things contribute to your lifestyle. And it's not just finding the one thing. It's like, well, how do you want to feel, and then how can we add quality into your life by looking at everything as a whole. So really just combining consciousness, cannabis, yoga, meditation, food, all the good stuff. And the website has lots of free education. I'm posting all this stuff all the time on Instagram too, free education or just my own thoughts, my friend calls it my channeling, my channeling from the universe. So tune into the channel if you want to. And just like, yeah, podcasting. And so it's a little bit of everything, but it's mainly for people who are new to cannabis and are looking for answers, or you want to combine cannabis with your whole lifestyle.
Oh, you're so needed. And I love how out of all of that, I really heard how you said you help your clients um, figure out how to feel the way they want to feel.
Mm-hmm.
Because as we know, feeling good is really the ultimate work. And a lot of people don't know that feeling.
Yes.
Right, if they've never felt good. So it's about having that support and knowing that validating what you're doing is right and experimenting in different ways and having that support, that coach. And for health coaches listening, some of them have never felt what it feels like to be an abundant health coach or a successful business owner. So share with us a story you can think of when you last felt like, oh my gosh, I'm doing it. I am living my dream. Share with us a little story to help our listeners get into that feeling place if they've never felt it before.
For sure. So I was coaching, like I've been teaching yoga for years and I have been getting paid for teaching yoga. And there's always times that I don't get paid for teaching yoga, but that's like by my choice. So as a yoga teacher, that was when I first really felt abundant, was when I was like, I am getting paid, but there's this 4-week program with preschoolers and it's not paid. So but I really want to do it. So I'm going to say yes. And I have the freedom to do that because I'm making my income other ways. So that's when I first felt abundant that way. As a coach, I've recently really started to feel abundant because my coaching with cannabis and lifestyle this past year has not been paid monetary in like monetary or whatever the word is, like through money. Like I've gotten some trades is mainly what it was. So I'm still getting something for abundance, but it wasn't filling the gap financially. So really just like persevering through knowing that what I was sharing needed to be shared and that, you know, it always comes back. So I felt abundant knowing the first time that I wasn't in like a clinic setting where there's already people looking for what I'm doing. When I was actually like just on Instagram or just doing my business myself, just sharing. And I'd say about 2 months ago, I started having people coming to me, asking me questions or being like, how can I work with you? And how much is it for 30 minutes? Or how can we this and that? And I was like, that's when I really also just felt like, wow, like I'm making my own schedule. I have complete freedom. I'm not in a clinic setting anymore. So it's not easy for people to come to me like it was, but there's still people finding me that are connecting with me. And that, yeah, that's when I really started feeling abundant as a health coach was I'm being me and people are connecting and coming to me for that without me having to try and look for it.
Yeah. And what you do and how you live your life and how you trust the process is actually a marketing tool, which
Mm-hmm.
I didn't know it was a marketing tool either before my brother told me. He's in marketing. I was just doing what you do, which is share your authentic story and help people because that's what we went into health for, right? Yoga teachers, for me, it was dietetics. Like we are in the service industry, but giving away all of that information is actually a marketing tool. So share with us again, just drive that point home to our listeners because I know a lot of people are nervous to share or they're getting really bogged down. They're saying, I'm sharing so much and nobody's buying. So again, share with us that lead generation that, maybe give us an example of how much you gave for free, how much you showed up consistently every single day. And then the moment that client, that ideal client started asking you, so you started effortlessly attracting them. Share with us kind of maybe a little timeline if you can, because people give up way too
Mm-hmm.
quick. They give up after.
Yeah, that's such a great point because I was also listening to a free webinar the other day. I wasn't doing it, but someone else was doing it. And I started laughing because she was like, I had people coming to me being like, it's just not working out. And then she's like, I'll ask them, how long have you been in business? And they're like 30 days. And she's like, here's the digital door right over there because it's going to take you years, honey.
Yep.
And I laughed so hard. I was like, even for me, like this transition of my career or business at this time has been about a year, solid year, almost 2 years, but like a year solid commitment. And there's definitely been times that I'm like, well, I think I should be further ahead, but it's like, it's only been a year. So definitely leading up through a timeline, like I was doing things for free for at least like 9 months consistent. And that's like no monetary value. Sometimes a trade, yes, for my time, but I was always still giving more. So, and that was like literally almost every single day, like weekends if needed to be, during the day, like whatever was needed kind of thing. And I was also giving out free, yeah, like just free sessions, one-on-one mainly is what they were. So basically what I'm doing now, but just for free, one-on-one, just to be like, proving that you actually know what you're talking about so people can actually start to trust you. And through word of mouth you start to get other people, and then I would get just different opportunities where it's like, hey, so and so heard that you have this or that you do this, could you like make this for someone? And then I'd be like typing up like a little email, even, which I say little but could take me an hour or two, of being like, here's some things to look for when you are looking for cannabis, and here's the doctor I would recommend, or here's something I would combine with this if you're going to do that. Like, giving even free information through email. And now I'm still like a free newsletter every week, or doing a webinar with a Natural Wellness Academy for free, like still giving out free stuff, even though I do run as a business. So it takes a long time. Even now, I'm still doing things for free and giving out stuff for free, but knowing that it feels good and how many unexpected opportunities that I've gotten from doing that is really the payoff in the end. It's like the universe sees you and is compensating you even in ways that you wouldn't imagine. Like yesterday, my meter ran out twice, but I didn't get a parking ticket because someone put money in the meter for me. And I'm like, thank you, kind people in the world. But it's probably because I've helped so many other people for free. So it just will come back to you in a different way.
Absolutely. And one thing I want to pull out of what you just said is these questions that people are asking us. So if we are burnt out, we're exhausted, we're frustrated, we're going to see those questions as being annoying. When you are aligned, when you are living an abundant life, those questions are gold. So those questions that are coming
Yeah.
through your email, through your Facebook, through your Instagram from potential clients, those are what you then turn into your sales pages, your web copy, your programs. So the next time somebody asks you a question and you roll your eyes, you're in resentment because I don't want to give stuff out for free, think again, because I was that person. I was burnt out as a dietitian and literally was pissed off at the world when the universe was trying to give me clients, but I just thought they wanted free information. As soon as I turned that around and started using those as, it's just a tool, it's gold really as to what your client wants. So that's exactly what you probably didn't go into the resentment part of it because maybe you weren't as as crazy as I was.
Oh no, I definitely was in, again, the irrational resentment. I've definitely been there tons of times. Like, but again, in hindsight, exactly like you said, I'd look back and be like, oh my God, if I wouldn't have had that question, or if I wouldn't have helped that person, I wouldn't have known the answer to the next person that had come, or I wouldn't have known how to niche my business. Like, how do I talk to people who just want to know the basics or who are brand new? And then how do I talk to someone that's like, hey, I've been, smoking for a year, but my symptoms not being treated. And then me being like, oh, well, it's because you actually don't need to be smoking. You actually need to be doing this instead. Like, just learning how to word, even the way you need to speak to people to help them in more efficient time and with more quality.
Yes. And now that you have your business system set up, what I do with my questions, and I'm thinking you do as well, is that when somebody comes in with a question and we funnel them somewhere. So basically lead generation, sales funnels, that's what you do online. So somebody coming into your sales funnel, if they don't know you, you funnel them to a free offer. So this could be Juliane's newsletter. It could be her Instagram account. It could be a free Facebook group. It could be, it's something free, no extra work to us, because the last thing we want to do is burn ourselves out with bending over backwards for potential clients. So that's the difference. When I used to do what you were explaining, I was burnt out and broken. But now when someone comes in, I give them a free offer that's already made. It's no extra work to me. And it gives them a chance to get help from me and get to like, know, and trust me and walk them down the path and either repel them because they're not an ideal client or bring them along the funnel. So that's the main difference between being a burnt out health coach and being an abundant health coach, is having your funnel set up and having your lead generators set up. So I want to respect your time here. I'm going to ask you the next question, which is, there's so many health coaches out there, right? And a lot of people say, is the market saturated? What's different about me? So share with us from your success of how important it is to be unique, and knowing that there is only one Juliane Nowe, there's only one Stephanie McWilliams. So share with us what's unique about you, as well as kind of to help our listeners if they're scared that it's a saturated market.
That's a great question, because even recently I've had to like look at what I'm really doing and what I'm really sharing, because I found it's so easy to go at first from just the excitement of like who you are, what you want to do, what's happened to you, what you did, like what you want to share, all your ideas. And then once you start attracting other people and then start looking at what they're doing, and then you start wondering, well, should I do what they're doing? And you're almost like getting caught up in what they're doing, and maybe you're not exactly copying them, but now you've kind of lost your edge of that beginning of the excitement of why you were doing what you were doing. So I recently had to like unfollow a lot of people on Instagram, and I've had to like say no to certain things and really almost like take a step back, because I was like, I'm not feeling like it's my same voice sometimes when I'm sharing something. Like it was almost like I was thinking, okay, well, I want to word it this way, but from that thing I read that time, or the way that person does it, it seems to work better this way. So really just sticking to your voice. And you may need to unfollow people who have like a million followers, because you don't want to like morph into what they're already doing. Like, and really just sticking to your story. Like Fabian, my partner, his story is so solid that of course the veterans are going to come to him, or of course people with PTSD are going to come to him, because he's like, this is who I am, this is what happened to me, this is what I know, this is what I did, this is how I continue to do with this, etc. So you're someone, I talked with someone else, she teaches about fibromyalgia, what she does for lifestyle and cannabis, etc. Like that to her is her niche there, as a woman with fibromyalgia in the city she's living in. She knows like the rules and regulations, just teaching that. So really just sticking to what you know and what lights you up. That's what I think is the most unique about each person, because I love standing in the presence of someone that's excited about what they're doing and what they're talking about. And that's what makes me want to keep coming back. Like there's so many yoga teachers, and I'll go to a yoga class, and if that person's excited to be there, then I want to be there. But if someone teaches the exact same thing and it looks like they want to be somewhere else, or they're kind of unsure about what they're saying and it's not really them, then I'm not going to want to go back to that class as much. So really just sticking to what lights you up.
Absolutely. And taking a step back and actually lighting yourself up, because right, if you're not vibrating high,
good point,
nobody's going to want to buy from you. So your job is not to sell, your job is to go get your vibe high. And the big names that you and I look up to, it's names of people, right? And yes,
Yes.
we have their systems, but we buy from them because of them and their stories. And I just had someone purchase my big ticket item, like $1,500. She's like, Steph, I don't even know what I bought, but it's you. I trusted. So she didn't even read the sales page. She just purchased. And that's proof right there. It was because she trusted me, and it was me, not, the systems or we don't ever want to sell content or work. We want to sell a result and a transformation and a feeling. People purchase off of human connection and feelings. So you're absolutely right. It's feeling good is the work and getting our vibe high. And we want to be around and purchase from people and brands and businesses that make us feel good. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, I could talk to you for an hour, a million times every day.
I know. I know. Time always goes so fast. It's like we get warped in this tunnel, and it's like, oh, wow, what else is happening out there?
And that's where we hit the jackpot, is if you can find your revenue generating activities that actually increase your vibe as well, that's where you want to spend your time. So what I mean by revenue generation is you and I are doing a podcast. We're driving traffic to your channels. That's revenue generation activity, but it's twofold, because you and I are actually increasing our vibe as well, which is one of my revenue generating activities, is to increase my vibe and feel good. So thank you for helping me with my sales marketing.
Yeah, thank you for always reminding me too to come back to that high vibe feeling.
Yes. Okay, so if people are vibing with you, they need you, they need your services. Where do they go? I'll put everything in the show notes, of course, but what's your main lead generation, your free offer where you can help people and get them into your world?
For sure. So I love Instagram. Like one of my friends is working on a Facebook page for me because I don't want to do Facebook, but I want to be on there in the sense that I know people need what I have to offer. So I'm like, maybe I'll just do some lives here and there. So the page may be up on Facebook. It may not be yet. So, but if not, I will soon be on there. Instagram, I'm on there a lot. And then I have the link that you can click on it in the bio, and it'll show you all the free cannabis basics education, the podcast episodes, the sign up for the newsletter. I think the webinar for cannabis and anxiety is still on there. So a bunch of different things. And then my website is LadyNowe.com.
Yes. And I love that you're not doing Facebook yourself because you don't vibe there. Take a note from that, everybody. You don't have to do all social media channels. And when something doesn't feel good, outsource it. Trade somebody, get someone else to do it, because you do not want to be doing things that bring your vibe down. And there's so many softwares, there's so many people who want to actually do it that you can create jobs, you can let them work in their zone of genius and you stay in yours. So it's how cool that you did that. I love it. And yeah, we'll have to do some Facebook lives together, because then I can see your beautiful face.
For sure. Lots of ways to connect.
Awesome. Okay, thanks for joining. And I'll have this live in no time with my fancy dancy app. It's called Anchor. If anyone wants to check it out, it's called Anchor. It's free. It's amazing.
Cool. Thank you so much.
All right. I'll talk to you soon.
Okay. Talk to you soon. Bye-bye.
Bye. Are you ready to effortlessly attract your ideal client? Join us for November's Mastermind. We run the Tuesdays in November online, so you can join from anywhere in the world. All the details are in the show notes. You can grab a 15% off code. We have 5 seats open. Join us for November 2018 to grow your business and effortlessly attract your ideal client. Thanks for listening. I'm Steph, and I help you go from burnout to success using the exact 4-step process I use to quit my day job. Make sure to like, share, subscribe, and comment below. Give us your feedback. If you haven't done so already, come on over to our free community group, Work Smarter, Not Harder, on Facebook. We'll see you on the next episode.